Whether you love him or hate him, Donald J. Trump is one of the most recognisable and controversial figures on earth. Before he ever set foot on a presidential stage, Trump had already built an empire as a real estate developer, casino owner, media personality, author and celebrity. With an estimated fortune exceeding $4 billion, Trump's name was written across skyscrapers, golf courses, casinos, hotels, planes, and even board games. He was known for his swagger, his ruthless deal-making, his love of the spotlight, and his belief that negative press could be just as valuable as positive. This is the full story of Donald Trump's rise, from Queens to Fifth Avenue, from family fortune to global fame. This has nothing to do with political opinion, just purely the story of a fascinating figure before he ever ran for president. Chapter 1. The Trump Family Legacy. Donald Trump was born on June 14, 1946 in Queens, New York, the fourth of 5 children to Fred Trump, a powerful real estate developer, and Mary Ann Trump, a Scottish immigrant. Fred Trump was the son of a German immigrant who had built a massive empire, becoming a self-made millionaire by developing low to middle-class apartment buildings in the outer boroughs for World War II veterans. During the 1940s and 50s, Fred became one of the largest landlords in Brooklyn and Queens, with hundreds of millions of dollars in federally subsidized housing projects. He was known for being incredibly cost-focused. Donald admired his father's success, but he craved something bigger, flashier, and riskier. He later said, "My father was content to build in Brooklyn and Queens, but I wanted Manhattan. I wanted the big leagues." Trump's father had instilled a win-by-any-means necessary mindset into his son, and Donald absorbed these 4 lessons from his father. Control your costs, know your numbers, build relationships with politicians, and above all, win. But Fred also showed him the darker side of business, how to navigate lawsuits, government probes, and the harsh world of real estate in New York. By his teens, Donald was itching to break free. Chapter 2. Military School. At age 13, after causing constant trouble at school, Donald was sent to the New York Military Academy, a boarding school known for strict discipline, military drills, and no-nonsense rules. It turned out to be a defining experience. Trump thrived in the competitive, structured environment. He rose to become a student leader, excelled in sports, and developed a reputation for toughness. "It was tough, but it was good for me," Trump later recalled. "It taught me how to control my energy, how to compete, and how to win." This is a mindset that his father had planted the seeds for years prior and was now flourishing. After graduating, Trump enrolled at Fordham University for 2 years before transferring to the Wharton School at the University of Pennsylvania, one of the top business schools in the country. But even then, Trump stood out for his ambitions. He didn't want to be known as Fred Trump's son. He wanted to build something bigger and flashier. "What separates winners from losers," he later wrote, "is how a person reacts to each new twist of fate." Chapter 3. Manhattan Entry. In the mid-1970s, Manhattan was on the brink. The city was teetering on the edge of bankruptcy. Crime was rampant, buildings were decaying, and investors were fleeing. But Donald Trump saw opportunity. His first major deal came with the Commodore Hotel, a decaying property next to Grand Central Terminal. Trump saw potential. If he could renovate the hotel, bring in a major brand, and secure tax breaks, he could turn it into a landmark. He pulled off an incredible feat, partnering with Hyatt Hotels, negotiating a 40-year tax abatement with the city, and convincing banks to finance the massive renovation. This deal became the Grand Hyatt, a shimmering glass and steel hotel that opened in 1980 and became an overnight success. Trump's fingerprints were everywhere, from the design to the marketing to the press strategy. "You have to convince people. You have to sell them on your vision," Trump said. In the end, deals are made not on spreadsheets, but on confidence. The Grand Hyatt wasn't just a hotel. It was Trump's ticket to Manhattan power. Chapter 4. Trump Tower and Brand Building. In 1983, Trump completed his crown jewel. Located on Fifth Avenue, Trump Tower was a bold, flashy skyscraper with luxury condos, high-end retail, and a shimmering black glass facade. Trump didn't sell apartments. He sold status, exclusivity, and power. Celebrities, foreign millionaires, and Wall Street elites flocked to buy units. Trump personally approved every design, ensuring the tower projected success. When his father Fred first toured Trump Tower in the early 1980s after its completion, he famously told Donald 3 words: "Too much glass." The pair were very similar in many ways, but this one line showed the difference between the two. Practicality versus luxury. Fred was an old school builder who specialised in low and middle income housing. His projects were about efficiency, durability, and cost control, not about flash or glamour. It was a simple but telling line. But for Donald, too much glass was the point. Trump Tower was all about luxury, attention and spectacle, signalling that he had arrived in Manhattan's elite developer circle, a space far removed from his father's Brooklyn roots. "My name adds value," Trump boasted. "It's a symbol of quality, luxury and success." He mastered the media, feeding reporters juicy stories, appearing on magazine covers, and carefully cultivating an image as the ultimate deal maker who almost always got his way, by hook or by crook. This media perception would help Donald massively at the negotiating table. Also, just a quick one, if you're enjoying this video and wouldn't mind subscribing to the channel, it would help out a lot. Back to the video. Chapter 5. Atlantic City, Casinos and High Stakes. By the late 1980s, Trump expanded aggressively into Atlantic City, opening massive casinos like the Trump Plaza, Trump Castle and the Trump Taj Mahal. The casinos were extravagant, over the top and hugely expensive. Trump borrowed billions to finance them, betting big that Atlantic City would become the next Las Vegas. At first, the gamble worked. The casinos attracted celebrities, high rollers and tourists, but the debt load was crushing. And by the early 1990s, Trump was in financial crisis. He narrowly avoided personal bankruptcy, renegotiating debts, cutting deals with bondholders, and shedding assets to survive. "Sometimes, by losing a battle, you find a new way to win the war," Trump later said. One of the greatest tests of his career, and while his casino empire shrank, his personal brand survived. Chapter 6. Personal life. Trump's personal life became a tabloid sensation. The press were obsessed with writing about him. He married Ivana Trump in 1977, a glamorous, Czech-born ski champion who became a key executive in the Trump organization. Together, they raised 3 children, Donald Jr., Ivanka, and Eric, who would later follow their father into business. But the marriage was turbulent. Trump's affair with actress Marla Maples became front-page news, leading to a high-profile divorce in 1992. Despite the drama, Trump remained proud of his children, often referring to them as his best achievement. Chapter 7. The Art of the Deal and Media Mastery. In 1987, Trump published The Art of the Deal, a book that mixed autobiography with business advice, giving a lot of personal insights into his day-to-day thinking behind million-dollar deals. It became a bestseller, cementing Trump's reputation as a master negotiator. "Deals are my art form," Trump wrote. "Other people paint beautifully on a canvas or write wonderful poetry. I like making deals, preferably big deals." Trump outlined key principles. Always aim big, use leverage, control the narrative, and turn every setback into an opportunity. Chapter 8. Reality TV, The Apprentice and Global Fame. In 2004, Trump reinvented himself again, this time as a reality TV star. The Apprentice debuted on NBC, turning Trump into a global celebrity. With his signature phrase, "You're fired, get out of here," Trump became a pop culture icon, reaching millions of viewers and rebranding himself as the ultimate business titan. The show ran for over a decade, generated massive profits, and paved the way for international licensing deals, hotels, golf courses, and luxury products. By the mid-2010s, Trump was more famous than ever, a businessman, entertainer, and global brand. The final act before politics. By the time Donald Trump announced his presidential run in 2015, he'd lived through 5 decades of reinvention, risk, and relentless ambition. This wasn't just the story of a politician, it was the story of a man who mastered deals, media, and public image. From Queens to Manhattan, from bankruptcy to billion-dollar comebacks, Trump's journey was one of constant spectacle, and it set the stage for his most unexpected chapter yet. If you enjoyed this style of video, subscribe to see our weekly uploads.